Good afternoon. Onwards and upwards. Okay, so on my little journey, I left Pioche after a couple of nights, rest and relaxation, and I headed a little bit north. Now, this part of Nevada, there's a series of mountain ranges that head north and south, broad valleys in between, and occasional east to west road will, go through the mountains. They call them a pass. And just north of Pioche, I think it's about 8 miles, there's a Bristol Pass that goes west through the mountain range. So I headed up there. I'd been there last year and did some hiking, which I like the area, so I wanted to go back. So I headed up and I stayed on the same side of the mountain, the east side that Pioche is on. There's some dirt roads in there, and I knew there was some mining activity in there, so I wanted to spend at least a night, which is what I ended up just spending the one night. Just Bristol Pass is a dirt road. Off of the main road is paved, but the Bristol Pass is dirt. So I headed down there and then took a dirt road off of that and went in and found a little place we call boondocking, where just on the side in the middle of nowhere in the woods or whatever, you find a little place where you can get off the road, and frequently there'll be an old fire ring made out of stone where people have camped before. You can see, so that's what I look for, and that's what I stayed in that first night, and um, I did this video here, the following here, where I just hiked up and I found some of this old mining activity. And I know these are not the most popular videos because I guess nobody really cares about that kind of thing except for me. But that's one of the things I'm out here for. And just in addition to the hiking and the general outdoors, the sightseeing, I love finding these old mining sites. And this one in this video, it's an old one. You can tell because there's no, you can't even see how they got in there. So I'm assuming it was with horses or animals or something brought their stuff in, and they did their digging and didn't find anything, and they left, and they just leave the holes there, and the states come in and found a lot of them, and put barbed wire around them and keep out signs and everything. But they're fun to find. So that's what this video is following here. And then so I left this area, uh, like I said, after one night, and I went around the other side of the mountain. I went through the pass, and around the other side there's a mine, an actual working mine. It's been closed for a long time. That I hiked around before, and there was a lot of these exploratory little holes over there, which I hiked around and found quite a few of them last year. So I stayed there 3 nights over the other side, and I'll show some videos of that following this one. But this is just to show you the these little mining sites that I look for, that I like. So um, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. This is the remains of some um, old mining activity. There's parts of some buildings that have collapsed there. Um, some old drums, some pieces of roofing, stuff scattered around. There's no clear way in here, so I'm going to say this has been shut down for a long time. They probably didn't do much here because there's not a lot of debris, but this comes into a little area where there's a sort of a mine shaft. It looks like you know, there's a tree growing there. It's fairly decent sized. Looks like part of the shaft has collapsed from the side. And looking through, I can see light sort of at the end. Coming back here, looking up the hill, there's a pile of tailings up there. So I'm going to head up there now and see what's there. This is looking down where I just was, below where that shaft was, and I'm just going to pan around just so you can see the landscape around here. We're sort of on the edge of a bit of a mountain range there. And that's that pile of tailings I saw from below. I haven't been up there yet, but they've been digging here as well. And just come over and peer down. That must be sort of the end of that other shaft that I saw from below. So that's that pile of tailings up there. I'm going to head up there now and see what's there. And this is that pile of tailings that I was looking at from below. You can see there's still some wood structure around this one. There's a hole that goes down a ways. And this is the pile of tailings, which you can see from quite a distance. They've got this mostly fenced off like they do most of them that I found out here. And this is typical of a lot of the ones you find. You know, it's not like a nice, neat hole in the side of the hill that you just looks like you could just walk into. This one, you know, looks more like a well. So there's no way I would ever go down there. Not that I would go into any of them, but I certainly wouldn't go into this one. And again, this is certainly like an exploratory hole, because there's limited, you know, signs of where they actually mined anything. It's just too small for that. You know, they dug this hole and a couple of other holes. They thought this would be an interesting place, or however I don't know how they came to their decision as to where to dig, but they thought this was promising, and they did some digging and they didn't find anything, so they left it, and here it is. And I enjoyed finding them and looking at them. And this one, this is more interesting than some because it still has you know, this wood around the hole. You normally don't see that. So it looks to me like they spent a bit of time here and did a bit of digging before they gave up. So and I can't actually see where the van is parked, but it's somewhere. You can see there's a hill across the way. It's sort of light, sandier on the side, and somewhere between here and there, sort of towards the right, somewhere down in there is where the van is. It's not too far. It probably was only probably not even a mile hike to get up here. So I'm going to continue along this way, which is south, and right along this side of this mountain, and I may find some more areas where they've been digging. And if I do, I'll take some pictures. So this is
like I said, just further along on that same hillside, more evidence of digging here. They didn't get very far. It's like they dug this little hole and gave up. There's stuff scattered all around the hillside here. Old pieces of wood, pieces of metal, pretty much what survived. Some old drums, pieces of roof, and looks like more digging right there. And then I see up there another orange sign, danger, so there must be a nice hole up there. I'm going to head up and investigate that one, and I'm going to go over here first and see what they've been doing over here. There's a pile of diggings, but I don't see a hole. But again, you see stuff scattered around, and obviously this happened quite some time ago because there's no way in here or fresh, fresh access. Not even a trace of a dirt road anywhere. There's some more of probably a piece of a shed. Here's that unsafe mine sign. More tailings. And so there's the hole that they dug. Can't really see any of it from up here. And there we go. So again, it's dug down, not sideways into the hill. So I don't know who's going to chase down there, especially when they obviously gave it up because they weren't finding anything. So it probably doesn't go very far. See, there's more pieces of old roofing. See what's over here. Oh, it looks like that's about the edge of that little area. So they camped out for not very long, built some little sheds, dug for a little bit, and then quit and moved on. But you can see a lovely area of the valley, real flat in the middle, and snow-capped mountains there in the distance. Big mountain range across. So I'm going to continue along sort of the side of the hill here at the bottom. It seems to be usually where they are, and just see if I can find some more old mining stuff.